For today's review, we are looking at the Shining Knight. Now, who is the Shining Knight for those of you who have never heard of this character before? Well, I've never heard of this character before either, so we're going to find out together. And as usual, let's take a look at the data profile card that is always included with these figures. And as you can see, there is this nice image of what the figure looks like in the comic book source material. It is a zoom-in profile shot of what the character looks like in the comic book art, which is pretty cool. And it does say down here that this is from 7 Soldiers of Victory, which the Frankenstein Mega figure that I reviewed back in October also originates from this same source material. So that's very interesting. And on the back, they have 3 different real names. I am not going to try and even pronounce those other 2 names because I feel like I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of them. So I'm going to refer to them as either Justin or the Shining Knight. Let's see how I read this. So it reads, the gender-fluid immortal knight, Sir Justin, also known as the Shining Knight, was present at Merlin's rebirth in Avalon as Adam 1. Oh, they were also known as Adam 1. Okay. As one of the Demon Knight's ancestors of Stormwatch, the Shining Knight battled alien and demonic threats. The Shining Knight was granted immortality after a sip from the Holy Grail during the fall of Camelot, but was cursed with an unquenchable desire to drink from the Grail again. The Shining Knight rode the Winged Horse Vanguard, fighting alongside such demon knights as Madame Xanadu? Oh, man, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of some of these names. And Jason Blood. He also wielded the sword known as Caliburn or Excalibur, marking him a champion of Camelot. The Shining Knight fought with the Demon Knights against the vampire Cain and was bitten, fulfilling his vision of one day becoming undead. Interesting. Again, I've never heard of this character before, but they do have a very interesting lore, and I do like the whole, King Arthur, Camelot sort of lore that they intermixed in with these characters, because that's one thing that I've always loved about, Marvel and DC is when they take actual myths and kind of, integrate them into the world. I do like when they do that, so. Alright. So, this figure does come with an accessory, one accessory, and since we did read that data profile card, now you know that they are a knight, hence by their name, the Shining Knight. And they do come with this long sword accessory, which I believe on that data profile card it says it's either Caliburn or Excalibur. Okay, it goes by 2 names. And I do like the fact that the sword is included. I wish there were a few more accessories included, like interchangeable hands, maybe a sheath. I don't like the fact that, whenever they do give characters like swords, there's no sheaths to go with them, which I think is just a disappointment. It would be nice if there were sheaths for these characters, especially a knight. Knights don't always hold their swords. They put their swords in sheaths sometimes, man. I don't know. I don't know why they don't ever do it. Okay, let's zoom in on the details of this sword. As you can see, I don't know if it's a plastic molding of the sword blade area, but it does kind of make it look like it is a worn out sword, like they've been using it for a very long time. I mean, they are immortal, right? So I do like that. I don't know if that was intentional or that's just a plastic, but it kind of makes it look like it's worn out. And on the hilt here, you do have this design here all painted in gold, and there's this little ruby thing in the middle. It is on both sides of the hilt, and the handle is wrapped in this sort of brown colored thing, whatever it's called. You do have this bottom part of it that also has details, all painted in a gold. It looks like a cross, right? Kind of like the Templar logo. So yeah, pretty cool. And that is the only accessory that they include. And I will show how to put this on the figure later. Now, for the figure themselves. This is a reuse of the Flashpoint Wonder Woman body buck. So a lot of parts here are pretty much reused and repainted, but there are some areas that are slightly difference that they did retool. And I'm going to be bringing in that Wonder Woman right now so we can look at the differences. Now, the first thing that I do want to point out right away that you can notice is that the gauntlets are retooled. So you can see how on the Wonder Woman it has a more sharper sort of design. And on this figure, it's a gold color rounded design that's different. Wonder Woman is wearing gloves. And the Shining Knight here is not wearing any gloves, so you don't have the same hands. Maybe the hand molding is the same, or no, I don't think so. Nope, it's not. And in terms of the other big difference that you can spot right away, the torso area is slightly different. So, of course, on Wonder Woman, she has her own logo, right? So that's the Wonder Woman logo. And then on the Shining Knight, this character has this bird emblem logo in their torso for their armor. So that's like one difference right there. There is this middle piece right here which wasn't present on this figure. And for the belt area, it is completely different. So for Wonder Woman, there is this belt here. It's just like this one strap. But for Shining Knight, there is a belt down here, and there is this other strap area up here, which is completely new. It was not present on the Wonder Woman figure. As for the skirt armor piece, though, this is the same piece that they used before. So that's the same. The legs are the same. It's all the same texturing, just painted differently. It's all black here. It's like a sort of bronze color, or I don't know what color this is, but it's not black. So the legs are completely the same. And as you can see on the bottom, they wear the same exact boots. Just one is painted in all gold, one is painted with silver and some reds. So there is a difference right there. And the capes, I believe, are also the same. It's just that these pieces on the side are more spread out on the Wonder Woman figure, but I believe it's the same mold. Yeah, I think it's the same mold. It doesn't look any different. They did add some details to the bottom of the cape here. As you can see, it's painted in gold, but I think the cape itself is the same. Let me take a look. Yep, it is the same exact mold. So most of the parts on here are pretty much reused. Only a few areas are retooled. And let's take a look at the shoulder armor as well. As you can see, they're exactly the same as well, just repainted. And then, of course, the head sculpts are different because they are two different characters. So I am happy that they did do a bit of retooling to some spots on this figure because, you know, they kind of have to, right? I mean, this is a different character entirely. But, you know, sometimes when they reuse body bucks, depending on what it is, they don't ever change anything. But in this case, I'm glad they did do a little bit of retooling here. So it's nice to see. All right, let's talk about the head sculpt on this figure. I do like the head sculpt of how they sculpted the character's face. It is a very nice looking head sculpt. I like the details that are present on the helmet that they are wearing. As you can see, there is these designs. These horns are soft PVC, so do be aware of that. They could warp. And yeah, I like the design of all this detail. However, because it's all painted in the same color gold, some of it doesn't really stand out too much, which I think could be changed if you do go back and do some custom work to it. If you do have this figure, you could probably make it pop. And this was the same problem that I had with the question, where, you know, you have certain details on this figure that could be painted better, like the buttons here, for example. So, and I think it could be the same for the helmet area for this figure as well. In terms of all the other details, like the texturing here, you know, these were present on the Wonder Woman body buck. But nevertheless, I do love when they do add texture to the figure's costume, because it does make it look more detailed than leaving it just a bland paint color where there is no texturing at all. And the gold color is not too bad. You know, it is what it is. It's not going to look like real gold, but I think from what Mcfarlane did here, it looks all right. But if you don't like the way this gold looks, you can always change it, because, you know, that's the whole thing with customizing, is you can repaint it in a better looking gold color paint that exists out there. So yeah, and I do like the details. Oh, and I did notice something else that's different. Here we go. This part is new too. I didn't even see that. There it is. All right, another difference. Okay, that's pretty much it for aesthetics. I don't really think there's anything else to talk about when it comes to the details, because most of it is the same as the Wonder Woman figure in terms of most of the details and textures. And yeah, you know, down here, I do like that there are some scratch marks on the armor pieces, though. That's cool. But again, you know, if you paint it with like some sort of shading or something, you could probably make these battle damage marks stand out even more. But yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, and the shoulder, not shoulder, the armor piece, whatever this thing is called. So, okay, and as the back is just all gold. All right, so that's pretty much everything for aesthetics. It's a very nice looking figure, but again, if you don't like the way that it's painted and you are a customizer, there are a lot of things here that you can change and probably do to make it look better. Alrighty, let's talk about articulation. Since it's the first time I am showing the articulation of this particular body buck in any of my videos, let's see how good it is. I don't remember. It's been a while since I even took the Wonder Woman figure out for any photography. So, can this figure look up? I guess it's like decent. Yeah, it's decent. It's not too bad, but like it's, you know, they're not going to be looking up completely all the way. But, you know, at least they can look up. Now, looking down is not the best, so they are very limited there. They do turn their head side to side. They can tilt their head side to side. Okay, that's cool. Not too bad. As for the arms, it can go out. It can go in. It can go not all the way back because the armor pieces do get in the way. So there's that problem. They do have double jointed articulation in the arm. They do have a swivel up here, as you can see. They do have a swivel down here in the hands, and also a articulation right there by the hands as well, because there is a sculpted ball joint in there. As for the torso, similar to the question, we do have, once again, another overlay style sort of torso here. So there is no cut in the middle. It's literally one entire sculpt. So most of the articulation is going to be happening down in the waist area. Oh, yeah, right there. So, wow, that's actually a good range of movement. I haven't really articulated this figure too much, but I am very surprised by the movement on this figure. That is pretty freaking good right there. I do like that. Okay. As for their legs, can they spread out? I think that's as far as it goes, because if you spread out too much, it's going to stress the soft PVC material on the skirt. But that is not too bad for a figure to spread out their legs. And, okay. All right. Can they kick out? A decent kick. Not like the best, but I mean, it's decent. All right. And then for their legs, I don't remember if these legs are double jointed. Oh, they are not double jointed. They are single jointed, because the armor piece down here, as I'm trying to speak, is pretty much covering the other half of it. So yeah, it's a single jointed leg. Okay, it's not a double jointed leg, but it is single jointed. That's not too bad. I know most people don't like that, but I think it's okay. And for the feet down here, there is swivel, there is articulation, and there is toe articulation in the feet as well. So that's cool. And it's a different type of sculpting, because usually, you know, there would be a ball joint all the way down here. But you can see that she or he, however you want to refer to this character, is wearing a boot style. So, okay. And that's pretty much all the articulation on this figure. All right, let's now try to get them to stand, and I want to display them with the sword. I do want to show that. So getting the sword on the hand, I believe, is not too hard. I already had it before. So all you have to do is kind of like just open the hand a little bit and kind of like put it in. Now, one thing I did find interesting is that this figure doesn't really hold the sword too well. Like, it stays on the hand, but like depending on how you have them holding the sword, yeah, they're not going to be holding at the best. But there you go. There they are holding the sword. Pretty good. I do like the fact that they have a weapon at least included because they are a knight. And now let's do some comparisons. So of course, let's bring in the Wonder Woman again. Here's a better look, and I'm going to hold the figure because, you know, they're not going to stand. So, yeah, that's the problem I have with this mold is that, you know, they are wearing high heels. So, and I don't have the Wonder Woman figure posed greatly right here. So, there's the differences again. All right. And here they are with, I guess, their... maybe their partner. I don't know if they're like teammates in the story. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but here they are with Frankenstein if they fit into frame. There you go. So there's the two characters together from the same source material. Pretty cool. And now let's bring in another figure for fun. Here they are next to Fortnite Girl. As you can see, she is way taller than Fortnite Girl. I am going to be referring to this character as both genders. They are gender fluid. I'm assuming that's what it means. I don't remember what that term means. Okay, I apologize. All right. And then now let's bring in the other two figures from the same Platinum Edition wave. So let's put Shining Knight in the middle. And then let's put Question on this side. And as you can see, he does have a gun in his hand because I was doing a photo with him. Being a old school detective who is rocking a gun. And then here is Effigy, who I did manage to find at the store. That was the first time I found these sort of Platinum Chase variants. And there you have them. All three. I'm very happy that I was able to complete this wave somehow. And again, I wouldn't resort to the last option if there was no other choice. And since I was not fortunate to find these two figures at the store, it is what it is. And there it is. The review for Shining Knight. I apologize that these reviews have been a little bit longer, but you know, I like to yap all the time. So with that said, if you found today's review informative, do give this video a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel for more action figure content and whatever else I do on the channel, you can. You don't have to. In the end of the day, I make these reviews for fun. And with that said, take care, and I will see you in the next video.